Hello and welcome to This Week in the Night Sky for September 27th, Monday, 2021, the last few days of the month of September. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, your host every week, talking about what you can see in the night sky, whether it's with the naked eye, binoculars, or perhaps a telescope you have. Some easy things that you should be looking out for in your calendar, marking it down. Things you could see in the evening sky or the early morning skies. Something for everyone. And I've got the chat room open. First off, I'd like to say hi to everyone. Thank you for joining me. We've got folks from England. We've got folks from the United States, from Sweden joining us. So glad you could be with me for a few moments of your day. Thank you so much. So why don't we dive right in to the planetarium program and see what's in store for this week. And so if we move over here, we've got the planetarium program all set up for Monday, September 27th. And what you'll see towards the southwest, of course, is Venus. But if you look very carefully next to this planet, in the southwestern sky is a much fainter star-like object. If you have binoculars, it'll be a cinch, just really easy to track this down. It's very different in color. It's orange in color. That's a star called Antares. It's the lead star in the constellation Scorpius. The Scorpion. It's traditionally a summertime constellation for those of us in the northern hemisphere, something very evident in the winter skies for those of you in the southern hemisphere. And it marks the eye or the heart of the Scorpion, depending on the artist's impression of this constellation figure. And this week, Venus is very close to Antares. And Antares is a red giant star, a very large star, much bigger than our own sun, has a distinctive orangey color. Its name, Antares, is in reference to anti-Mars. To the ancient Greeks and Romans, it was the rival of Mars. That's what the name Antares means. Anti-Mars. Ares was the name of Mars in ancient times. And so anti or rival of Mars is what Antares, the star, is referenced to, because it looks so much like Mars in the sky. It looks like a bright star-like object. And so Venus is going to be awfully close to Antares. It'll make a beautiful pairing, the two of them together. So I highly recommend take a few moments of your time after sunset, maybe about 15 minutes to half hour after your local sunset, looking towards the southwest, so basically to the left of where the sun sets. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, you'll see that beacon-like Venus, and just next to it is Antares. Now, what's interesting is I've got this view that you're seeing here set up for Monday, September 27th. But if we go a little bit more on, say, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, look at the positioning between Venus and Antares. Isn't that interesting? See how Venus and Antares are switching positions? Antares is setting while Venus is rising. There's Friday. That should be, yeah, there we go. So you can see all the way until next week, the two are together. But it's really interesting to see that how the two move apart from each other over time as well. So something to see, just something fun to see as well. So moving later at night, once the skies get dark, I want you to see something very interesting. Since the moon is out of the way for us for most of the week in the evening times, and that's when most of us do our sky watching, it's a great time to look at deep sky objects, so objects that are beyond the solar system. And you can see here a bunch of stars all over the sky, really nice. And of course, if we just make it a little bit darker later in the evening, you see the beautiful Milky Way stretching right across the overhead skies down through the southwest. And what, of course, I want you to notice is the summer triangle. Now, the summer triangle is an easy asterism, which means it's not a constellation. It's actually three stars from three different constellations that make this very distinctive triangular formation. It's something very easy to see. You won't miss it. And you can see it's made from Deneb, Vega, and then down here, Altair. Each of these stars is pinpointing its own constellation. So if you find the summer triangle, that's this beautiful large configuration of these three stars, the brightest stars in the southwest in the mid to late evenings, you will know three different constellations, because Deneb marks the tail of Cygnus the Swan. That's you see here. Vega, on the other hand, over here, is part of the small little constellation called Lyra. It looks like a kind of like a squashed parallelogram. And then down closer to the horizon, let's see if we can push that out, you'll see the bright star Altair, which is part of Aquila, the eagle. So you've got these three stars marking the summer triangle. Really easy. If you have a pair of binoculars or telescopes, sweeping inside this summer triangle between Deneb and Vega, you can see Vega and Altair. Look at that. You see that? That is the Milky Way galaxy. And of course, if you live near a city, lots of light pollution, this is not going to be easy or possible to see it with the naked eye. But with binoculars, even from suburbs, you'll be able to see lots of stars spread out, countless numbers of clusters of stars, all spread out in this band inside, cutting across the summer triangle formation. Again, this is called an asterism. It's a very distinct pattern of stars. Another very good example of an asterism, by the way, is the Big Dipper, part of Ursa Major, the Great Bear. The Big Dipper is a 7-star configuration that is very distinctive to the eye. Its eye catches your eyesight very easily, and that's called an asterism. And here's another one, the Summer Triangle. Now, what I want you to take a look at is, and before I go there, of course, closer to the horizon will be two other very bright stars. The brighter one is Jupiter, and the fainter one is Saturn. They're not stars at all, of course, but planets. So that's something you should keep your eye out for too. But what I want you to look for is a small little asterism that's perfect for binoculars, easy to see with binoculars, something that you should be able to see with the naked eye if you're in the countryside. And it's called the coat hanger. And as you suspect, the name coat hanger is in reference to the shape of it, which looks like a traditional coat hanger you may have in your closet. And where is this little asterism, this group of stars, which actually is a cluster? It's in between the line of Vega, which I'm going to show you here. Here we have the summer triangle, and if you draw a line between Vega and Altair, and about a third the way up, right about here, along that line, is where the coat hanger is. So let me just put inside my planetarium program the name, and we'll just, it's also known as Colander 399, by the way, and it's officially in the constellation Vulpecula, which is the little fox constellation. And you can see it marked here, right here, in a little circle with a cross here. It's CR Colander 399, but it's also known as the coat hanger. And you can see it's right along this line, one of the sides of the triangle. And if we zoom in, let's zoom into this little configuration, you'll see there's yellow, orange, and white stars, and blue stars too. Right here, this is the little coat hanger, and you can see here's the hook part, and the bottom parts of the coat hanger come out to all the way actually out to this blue star out here. And so all of this is really visible. This is about the view of what you would have in a pair of binoculars. Okay, that's about the view. So it's really easy to see with binoculars. And how to find it? Just draw that imaginary line between Altair and Vega, one of the sides of the summer triangle. Remember the summer triangle? There we go. Let me just zoom it out again. And there it is. It's about 1/3 along that line from Altair up the sky. You sweep with binoculars and you'll find that coat hanger. It's really easy to see. And it's amazing because it is a group of about a dozen stars, and its distance is, believe it or not, 4,200 light years away. And the little coat hanger is easy to find. So I'll put a star chart for that later this week so you can check that out for yourself. Now, for those of you that wake up early, or early birds are up before dawn, there is something else to watch for. Let me see if I can get that organized here. If we move towards the later at night, you'll see our friend the moon. Right there is up in the late or early morning hours. And this is where the moon is going to be Tuesday morning, September 28th. It will be right between Auriga, the constellation Auriga, and Gemini. And if we go and switch over to the next few days, you'll see that by Thursday morning, the moon will be positioned very, very, very close to the twin stars Castor and Pollux. You can see Castor and Pollux right there, and the moon, crescent moon, joining these two stars. So that's Thursday morning. By Friday morning, the moon will be in the constellation Cancer, a much fainter constellation. To the right is Canis Minor, the little dog, and Procyon, which is a super bright star. You'll have that, and you'll have, of course, Castor and Pollux right above it. And what you'll see, if you have binoculars and telescopes, you can look for a beautiful star cluster, an open star cluster called the Beehive, because it looks like a bunch of bees buzzing around, and this beautiful crescent moon will be a wonderful guidepost for finding it. I know there's a glare from the moon, but not much, considering that it's a crescent. So you should be able to pick out that beautiful cluster, also known as Messier 44. It's 610 light years away, and here's a really nice picture of what that would look like. That's what it looks like through a telescope, a telescopic view. It's really a beautiful cluster, M44, also known as the Beehive. This is going to be on Friday morning, October 1st. This Friday, look for the moon pairing up with M44, the Beehive cluster in Cancer, the Crab constellation. Now, if we move it one day later, looking towards the east, you'll see that thin crescent moon again right up there. and it'll be heading into the constellation Leo the Lion. And if we go by on the weekend, by Sunday, October 3rd, this is October 3rd, look at that. The moon will be just next to the brilliant star Regulus, which is about 77 light years away from Earth. And there's Algebra, which starts that backwards question mark, right? The explanation point of that question mark is Regulus, and that backwards question mark, that hook part comes up, that makes the head of the line, the mane and the head of the line are going to be to the upper left of the moon, and then you'll see this nice, beautiful, thin crescent moon. It's just going to be beautiful. Again, this is this Sunday morning, just something you want to see on October 3rd. So the moon will be a great guidepost for finding neat things if you can wake up early in the morning. So there's something to see in the evening, something to see in the morning skies. Every week there's something cool. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like this show, please do show your support by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss when I go live with my next show. Thanks so much for watching, whether it's on Facebook, on Twitter, or Twitch, or on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. But until next time, I wish all of you guys clear skies. Bye-bye.